Hello and welcome back. I'm April May Wellston, and today I'm going to show you how I painted this poinsettia rock. So stay tuned. So to start out with, I'm using my General's charcoal pencil in white, and I'm sketching out my design. Now I do have a traceable for this on my Patreon page. You do not need to be a subscriber for the traceables. The traceables are free to everyone. Now the traceable I have on there is a little bit different than what I have on the rock. I did kind of a complete picture in case you want to reposition it a different way, or you have a different size rock or whatever. You're going to notice that it looks a little different. But I wanted to give you some flexibility since I only have partial flowers on my rock. You could size it down and have both complete flowers on yours. Plus, I think there's some more of the berries on there. Or you can kind of just follow my design and draw your own flower. These are pretty easy. And here I'm doing my little berries. I'm just filling in the kind of the one gap that I had. So I just added berries there. So now I'm taking just some titanium white, and I'm going to paint in the berries, or not the berries, but the center parts of the flower. And then I'm going to paint in the upper leaves, because there's 2 rows of leaves. The lower leaves I'm going to leave very dark, and the upper leaves I'm going to paint in kind of in a white. And I don't care that this is kind of see-through. This is just so that when I put my red on, it'll be brighter, since I've got such a dark background. And I got this little turntable off of Amazon. This was a little cheap, like $5 or $6 turntable, which works great and I love it, but it doesn't turn smoothly. Like if you were to just spin it, it doesn't turn very smooth. So I don't have it linked down in the description below, but the rest of my supplies are linked in the description. And they are all associate links to Amazon, so I do get a little commission if you go through my link to purchase things. It doesn't even have to be the things on that I have linked. Anything you buy by going through my link, I get a commission for. And that just helps support my channel. So now I'm just taking straight red, and I've kind of muted it, watered it down just a little bit. I may have added just a little bit of black to it. I want to make sure that these look like they're in the distance. If you want them brighter, don't add any black to it. Now my rock is heavily textured, so I've watered down my paint just a little bit to help it flow across the texture better. And one thing I'll tell you, if you have a textured rock, now this one's pretty textured and it'd be hard to cover up a lot of it, but if you use thick paint or lots of layers of thick paint, you'll start filling in that texture and it'll start smoothing out your rock a little bit. So now I've added just a touch of white. I don't want to make this red pink. I just am trying to brighten it up as much as I can before it turns to a shade of pink. because I want these petals to stand out better against the ones that are in the background. Now, if you want to keep your poinsettias red, because I turned mine to a pink color, but if you want to keep yours red, then you may want to use an orange. So you would want to use a warmer red or an orange to do your highlights, and then a bluer red to do your shadows, or you could add black to it also. But when they talk about warm and cold colors, it's when it's on more the yellow scale or on the blue scale. Yellow is obviously warmer, blue is going to be colder. So, and all colors can move to either side. You can have a warm blue and a cold blue, or you can have a warm green and a cold green. So that's it's just what side of the color wheel they favor. Is it going to be more the yellow side, the red side, or is it going to be more the blue side? So now on the very top, what would be like the small little like new leaves, I've added some magenta to the red, because now I'm turning them just a hint of pink. And I'm using my, what are these paintbrushes? You would think I'd have them memorized by now. They're Royal and Langnickel, I know. Oh, they're Royal and Langnickel size 3 and size 6. Size 6 being the bigger of the two. Those are the ones I use predominantly for this project. And I just glazed down the black, turned it into a glaze by adding water for the shadows. And so far, Harley is being really quiet. I think she's taking a nap right now. So now I've added white to my red, and I'm going to start turning my rocks pink. Like I said, if you want to keep them red, then you would use more of an orange for the highlights. And these leaves are very textured, so you want to add as much texture to them as possible. And that's what I'm doing with the pink. Because they almost look like leaves off of a tree. They have a lot of like ribbing on them. I don't know what the technical term is for it, but they're definitely not a smooth leaf. And I'm going back over it again and hitting it with even a lighter pink. Just kind of on one side. That's going to be where the light is hitting those, making them just a little bit brighter. So now I'm painting in the hint of a leaf in the background. I don't have leaves on the traceable, but if you want to add them in, I just basically drew kind of a triangle shape and tucked it behind the flowers. So you just get kind of a hint that there's leaves back there. I just did that to add a little bit more interest to the rock. So now I've done the berries. Now I'm doing the stem that connects the berries all together and highlighting those. And I'm just using a burnt sienna as the main color, and then either adding white or black for either the highlight or the shadow. Excuse me. You want to highlight in right where the stem connects to the little berry. And I have that one leaf like rolling over, kind of, so it's got kind of twisting. So now I'm going and adding shadows where the stems are and the ribbing is on the leaves or the petals. And this I'm using with, it's kind of glazed down to do this. Hitting a little bit more of the highlights. These are the brightest parts of the flowers. And due to the glare from my lighting, I can't put my rock down sometimes to paint because it creates such a bad glare. And then I signed it and then realized I haven't even painted in the center parts of the flowers. Like I'm not even halfway done, and I went and signed the rock. I don't know what I was thinking. I was getting way ahead of myself. So now I'm adding the little highlight on the berries with just a little bit of white, white. And then kind of glazing back over it to tone it down. So now I grab some, this is yellow ochre. Some companies call it yellow oxide. And then just doing the base coat of those. And then I'm going to use some of that burnt sienna to go in and kind of shade around the center portions. Did I call them berries earlier? They're not. It's just the center part of the flower. They're not berries. I think they're, I was going to say unhatched petals, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with the terminology for the flower parts. So I'm working on where that one leaf twists. I like to add little elements like that because it just creates another element of interest in the design. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like, subscribe, and share this with any of your friends that may be interested in rock painting. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.